Today, we're doing a forensic analysis of a particularly cruel kind of fraud. It's a system designed not just to steal your money, but to really twist the whole idea of trust and authority. We're going to deconstruct the tech support scam, piece by piece, so you can see exactly how it works, what psychological buttons it pushes, and, most importantly, how you can build a truly unbreakable defense against it.
And let's just start with the core truth of this whole crime. The defining cruelty here is that the scammer doesn't just take your money, they hijack your fear of technology and your natural reliance on someone who sounds like an expert. This isn't some quick smash and grab. It's a deep psychological violation. The scammers actually weaponize a person's own uncertainty, their politeness, their trust, and in the end, they use your own integrity to make you an unwilling partner in your own financial disaster.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the central paradox, the helper who is actually the thief. Then we'll get into the specific fears they prey on. After that, we'll do a full anatomy of the attack itself, explore the psychology that makes it so darn effective, and finally, we'll build your non-negotiable defense plan, locking it in with a protective mantra. Right at the heart of this whole con is a really unsettling paradox. The person who calls you, the one offering a fix for a problem you didn't even know you had, they aren't a helper. They are the problem. They're the thief, but they're disguised as the very expert you'd normally turn to for protection. And that complete flip of roles, well, that's the foundational genius of the scam. The reason this whole thing works is because of a simple fact of modern life. For a lot of us, technology is kind of a black box. We need it, but it can be confusing, even a little intimidating. We depend on it, but we don't always get how it works under the hood. So these scammers, they don't need to be brilliant hackers. They just need to sound like they understand that black box better than you do. They exploit that knowledge gap, proving that your confusion can be a much bigger risk than any piece of faulty software. Okay, so let's shift from the what to the who. These criminals are actually pretty sophisticated profilers. They aren't just throwing stuff at a wall to see what sticks. No, they are hunting for a very specific set of emotional and psychological conditions that make someone vulnerable to their particular brand of manipulation. They're basically looking for an unlocked emotional door. So who are they looking for? Well, the data is pretty clear. They primarily focus on adults over 60. Now, this isn't because they're less intelligent, not at all. It's because this group often has a different relationship with technology, and this is key, a higher degree of trust in professional authority. The scam takes the very real, legitimate practice of remote IT support and just twists it by creating this sense of overwhelming panic, a virus, a hack. They short-circuit our natural impulse to just pause and check if this is real. And the most insidious part, as we're about to see, is how the final step of the scam turns a victim's own honesty against them. So this brings us to the big question in all of this. How on earth does a phone call about a supposed computer virus escalate into a victim willingly wiring thousands of dollars out of their own bank account? The journey from A to B is no accident. It's a carefully engineered three-act play of fear, confusion, and coercion. All right, let's get into the forensic breakdown. Let's see how all that fear they build up gets methodically turned into stolen money. We are now opening the scammer's playbook, and we're going to walk through every single move they make, from the first hello to that final wire transfer. The attack basically unfolds in three distinct stages. First up is initiation. That's where they grab your attention with fear and establish themselves as the authority figure. The second, and this is the most critical part, is the pivot. This is where they get remote access and switch the whole conversation from tech support to money. And the final act is extraction, the coerced transfer of your funds. It all starts with contact you didn't ask for. It might be a sudden alarming pop-up on your screen, maybe with a loud noise and a number to call, or it could be a direct phone call. The person on the other end says they're from Microsoft or Apple or your internet company. And right away, they just hit you with a wall of technical jargon about some urgent, invisible threat. Ma'am, your IP address has been compromised, or we're seeing malicious packets coming from your network. The goal isn't to inform you, it's to make you scared and confused so they can position themselves as the only person who can save you. This is the crucial moment, when the victim, who is now totally overwhelmed by fear and is trusting the scammer's so-called expertise, agrees to grant them remote access to their computer. Well, that's really the point of no return. When you let them in, you aren't just letting them see your screen. You are literally handing over the keys to your entire digital life. You're breaking the most fundamental rule of cybersecurity. So once they're inside your computer, the scammer puts on a little show.
some digital theater. They'll click around, open up some scary-looking black boxes on the screen, and pretend to fix this non-existent problem. Then comes the pivot. They'll say that for all your trouble, you're owed a refund, let's say $500. They'll ask you to log into your bank account so they can deposit it. But by using a clever trick, they make it look like they've made a terrible mistake and sent you $5,000 instead of $500.
And here's where the manipulation flips. The entire dynamic just inverts in a split second. The scammer is no longer the calm, authoritative tech expert. Suddenly, they're a panicked, desperate employee who's terrified they're going to be fired for this huge error. The problem isn't your computer anymore, it's their career. And just like that, you're no longer the victim. You're the one who holds their fate in your hands.
This is the psychological choke point. The scammer creates this intense, totally artificial emergency. They're pleading with you, their voice might be cracking with fake panic. You have to help me, my boss is going to see this. You have to wire the extra $4,500 back to my company right now. The pressure is just immense. They will not let you get off the phone. Your rational mind, which might be screaming that this is weird, gets completely steamrolled by the urgency and the raw emotional manipulation.
So to really get why this works so often, we can't just look at the actions. We have to analyze the invisible psychological weapons they're using. This isn't just a simple trick. It's a sophisticated system of cognitive and emotional coercion, and it's designed to bypass all of your natural defenses.
So first up is something called authority bias. Just by saying, "Hi, I'm from Microsoft," the scammer instantly borrows all the credibility of a massive trusted corporation. Our brains are just wired to listen to experts, right? We trust the person in the lab coat or the technician from a company we know. This bias lets the scammer waltz right past our critical thinking from the very first sentence. Next, they intentionally hit you with cognitive overload. That constant stream of technical-sounding nonsense, it's not meant for you to understand it. It's designed to overwhelm your brain, almost like a denial of service attack on your ability to reason. And when you feel that confused and helpless, your only option feels like surrendering your judgment to the one person who sounds like they're in control, the scammer. And this brings us to the final and maybe the most powerful tool, the reciprocity heuristic. You see, most of us are fundamentally honest people. If we truly believe we've received money that isn't ours, we feel this deep, almost primal urge to give it back. The scammer's accidental over-refund is a masterstroke because it weaponizes the victim's own integrity. The victim isn't wiring money because they're greedy or foolish. They're wiring it because they believe they are doing the right, ethical thing. Okay, so now that we've completely dissected this attack, we can move from analysis to action. We can build an ironclad, evidence-based defense protocol. And this isn't about being a tech wizard, it's about recognizing the pattern and having a pre-planned, non-negotiable response ready to go. The absolute universal red flag can be boiled down to a simple formula. If you get an unsolicited contact about an invisible problem with your computer, which then leads to a demand for remote access, it is a scam. 100% of the time, no exceptions. That three-part combo is the fire alarm. The second you see it, the conversation is over. So let's look at the two paths. On the left, you see the scammer's path, the one they're desperate to keep you on. On the right is your path, the path to safety. The instant you recognize that red flag, you hang up the phone. Don't argue, don't explain yourself, just hang up. That breaks their psychological control. Then, shut down your computer. That severs any connection they might have made. And finally, call your bank using the number on the back of your card to report what happened. And this is crucial. If there ever were a real overpayment, you never wire money back. You tell the bank to reverse the transaction. That is the only safe and legitimate way to handle it. Okay. Finally, let's boil this entire defense down into something simple, powerful, and easy to remember. Think of it as a cognitive shield that you can pull up in a moment of panic and that you can share with everyone you care about. The core lesson here, the strategic principle to really burn into your memory from all of this, is this. The promise of a fix is often just a disguise for a break-in. An unsolicited offer of help for a problem you didn't even know you had shouldn't be treated as a kindness. It needs to be treated with the highest level of suspicion. It's a stranger knocking on your digital door in the middle of the night.
And so we end with a protective mantra. 3 simple, non-negotiable rules. 1. Microsoft, Apple, your bank, they will never cold call you about a problem with your computer. Ever. 2. Never ever give remote access to anyone who calls you out of the blue. And 3. Never, under any circumstances, wire back a refund. Let the bank handle it. Internalize these 3 rules. Share them. They're your final line of defense against a system that is expertly designed to turn your own best instincts against you.